Howdy folks, and welcome to the Deep Space Travel Break, the #1 No Man's Sky podcast on YouTube. Debatably, because now it's also a Light No Fire podcast, so that title was kind of, it's irrelevant. Anyways, thank you so much for waiting, as I haven't been able to really make any videos the last couple weeks, which is fine. I've been busy with some client work and grading and things like that, but I'm back now. And I'm ready to talk about Light No Fire and No Man's Sky, which I did in my last two videos, although I apologize. Both of those seem to have had some audio sync issues, which I don't know what happened, because obviously as I'm editing the video, all of the audio lines up with what I'm looking at. But when they rendered out, I don't know. I thought I used the same render settings, but maybe it's because I recorded them differently or something. Not sure, but I apologize for that mistake. Thank you for pointing it out in the comments for me. I'll be sure to triple check my video files before I upload them for audio desync going forward. I apologize. That said, I think we're ready to... Oh wait, I forgot to mention, this week's video is sponsored by viewers like you. Thank you to all my members, my valued members of the channel. And if you'd like to become a valued member, get some perks, and, to support the channel directly, well, you can sign up today. There should be a button pretty much on any device you're using that says join now. One of the benefits you get with that are members-only live streams, which the first one was supposed to be this last Friday, but again, I've been busy out of my mind. So it's looking like the first members-only live stream will take place on Wednesday, December 20th. At around, sometime in the late afternoon, Central Daylight Time, U.S. Central Daylight Time. So look forward to that. I need to put an announcement out for that. Other than that, I think we're ready to go. So I don't have a script today. I had a lot of fun recording those last two videos without scripts. So I figured, might as well wing it again. I'm Kanaju. This is the Deep Space Travel Break episode 27, and let's get to one of the topics of the show, Hello Games and the Game Awards. So I enjoyed talking about the Light No Fire trailer a couple weeks ago, but now I'd like to talk about just how crazy it is that Hello Games were at the Game Awards. So the night of the Game Awards, there was a tweet, and I'll put it on screen. I don't remember who it was off the top of my head, but they had sort of spotted Sean Murray in the crowd in the background. And I got so hyped for that. Unbelievably hyped. It was like that excitement that I haven't felt in a long time. And it's because Sean Murray doesn't usually show up to the Game Awards. Even when they announced The Last Campfire back in 2018, I was there in person. And that was pretty hype. But I don't think Sean was there. And I don't know if anyone from the team was necessarily. And they don't always go to award shows. So the fact that he was in the crowd, it made me think he wasn't there to accept some, best community support game award, which unfortunately they didn't win. But it made me think, hey, they might actually be announcing their next game, the big one. And lo and behold, there he was on stage, and that's exactly what they did. Which, again, also, it felt great to see Sean up on stage. He hasn't been on stage since pre No Man's Sky release. I mean, he did have a speaking gig at, GDC or another event where he did talk on a stage. But to announce a game like this, I mean, it's been a long time. So that was really exciting. In fact, the whole team was in LA for this, apparently, at least the whole Light No Fire team. And yeah, that was really exciting to see. The announcement was great, and then afterwards, Sean was just tweeting up a storm. He was at the after party with everyone. He was exploring Los Angeles. It seemed like he got a pickle through security in a little baggie, and then the bag broke in his pocket on the flight home. Apparently, it smelled like pickle. That's I don't know what to say about that. But yeah, I wanted to talk about how cool it is to see Hello Games out in the world. They're usually so secretive. It's just great to be reminded of all the people who work on the games that we love. Alright, so I also wanted to talk a little bit about the Light No Fire trailer. So I talked at length about it, doing a trailer breakdown. Hopefully I didn't miss too much. I was in a a crazed state. I recorded that right after the Game Awards. But I wanted to say that the trailer is the most popular trailer on Hello Games' YouTube channel, which is incredible. Let me look at those numbers right now. Right now, their most popular video is the Light No Fire trailer with 10 million views. And second place is the Next Generation trailer for No Man's Sky with 2.2 million, which it makes sense because if you're not into No Man's Sky, like that seemed like a really big generational leap. But if you're playing No Man's Sky, it really was mostly like a visual upgrade. Now, the Origins trailer being in third with 2.1 million, that's pretty hype. Origins was a great trailer. Then after that, you have Outlaws, Companions, Switch, and the original No Man's Sky trailer. Sorry, I got a bit distracted there. So besides Hello Games channel, I saw here on Twitter, let's see here, let me pull up the tweet. Kami on Twitter, Okami13_. They said Light No Fire is by far the most watched trailer from the Game Awards, with more than double the views of the next highest. So Light No Fire is at about 10 million. Marvel's Blade, 4.3 million at time of writing. God of War Ragnarok Valhalla, 3.8 million. Jurassic Park Survival, 1.9. And Monster Hunter Wilds, 1.8. Now what's funny about this is I remember when the Game Awards ended and they ended with the Monster Hunter Wilds trailer as their last world premiere. I remember thinking to myself, man, that trailer was not as hype as the Light No Fire trailer. And I texted my friends that and they're like, for real. And then you look at the stats, and yeah, there are a lot more views, about 5 times as many views on the Light No Fire trailer as Monster Hunter Wilds. I can't believe they didn't end the Game Worlds with Light No Fire, because that was pretty exciting. It's really exciting. But anyways, that's me as a fanboy, right? Of course I'm going to be the most excited for that. So besides the trailer, we also have the Light No Fire website. So if I go to lightnofire.com, it's looking pretty epic. But we have some additional info here. So if we scroll down beneath to the second section, it says Light No Fire is a game about adventure, building, survival, and exploration together. Set on a fantasy planet the size of Earth, it brings the depth of a role-playing game to the freedom of a survival sandbox. Now, those are some bold claims, especially coming from Sean Murray, which, by the way, circling back to the Game Awards, when he said a game more ambitious than No Man's Sky, I was kind of rolling my eyes. I love Sean. Y'all know I love Sean. I love Hello Games. And I've always been of the mind that, you know, he's a decent guy, and all that kerfuffle around the launch was a lot of different circumstances. But when he said that, I was like, oh no, what are you doing? Yeah, that was funny. And then he specifically, of course, he mentions, he keeps using the word Earth, right? In the trailer, it says a multiplayer Earth, a fantasy Earth. He talks about, you know, this being Earth. We'll come back to that. That's just interesting. Here it says the size of Earth. On the night of the Game Awards, I believe he said it was larger than Earth.
Something bigger than Earth?
With things like mountains being even taller than, say, Everest, you know, taller than what's possible on Earth. So we'll see. Maybe it's Earth size, maybe it's larger than Earth. I don't think that'll make much of a difference in the minute-to-minute gameplay, but just interesting to think about. Now, the part of this statement that's the most interesting to me, though, is where it says, the depth of a role-playing game to the freedom of a survival sandbox. Now, we know Hello Games can pull off the freedom of a survival sandbox. We have No Man's Sky, right? That game gives you all the freedom in the world. However, the depth of a role-playing game, that is something we really haven't seen from Hello Games. Now, certain systems within No Man's Sky do have depth, and they do interact with each other in really interesting ways. However, I don't know about the depth of a role-playing game, because that's a very vague statement, right? When they say role-playing game, are they saying this will be as deep as Fallout 4? Or are they saying this will be as deep as Baldur's Gate 3? Probably not. Or do they mean something in between, right? Like Fallout 3, for instance. I apologize, I haven't played that many role-playing games. But yeah. So it's hard to say what they mean by depth of a role-playing game. Hopefully they'll give us some more specific examples of either gameplay systems or comparable games. But I also wanted to look at the press page because they have additional information here that wasn't in the trailer. So we have the description, which I just read, and then features. A multiplayer Earth, which again, they keep using the word Earth. Carve a life together. Meet players from across the globe. Build a life, explore and survive together. Construct persistent buildings and communities, or strike out alone to discover the world for others. Now, again, a lot of people are going to be skeptical. No way they can pull this off. But listen, we can already visit a planet with players from around the globe, and we can already build, explore, and survive together. So I'm pretty confident they can pull that stuff off. The idea of constructing persistent buildings and communities, that's to be expected, right? We can already build persistent buildings within the No Man's Sky universe. You know, I've built stuff and I put the coordinates out there and people can visit whenever they like. The idea of persistent buildings and communities, I wonder if they mean like in the sense we have right now, how you have communities outside of the game, or if they mean there's some kind of community features within the game, like a guild or a faction you can establish. That would be pretty cool. That would be really cool. A procedural Earth. A truly open world. Gosh, and then when Sean, I'm sorry, I keep going off on tangents. Sean said this will be the first true open world game. Oh my gosh, come on, man. Because I'm pretty sure they said something similar like that about No Man's Sky, the first open universe game. Which, granted, it kind of was, because you could actually walk around and do a lot of stuff. But he's got to be careful with those claims. Got to be careful. A truly open world with no boundaries at a scale never attempted before. A massively varied and dense planet filled with immersive biomes, unique enemies, and valuable resources to discover. Now, again, because it's Hello Games, they really should be careful about quantitative claims that can be positively verified or not, such as with no boundaries at a scale never attempted before. Now, I'm not going to be a butt and take everything literally, so when they say no boundaries, I'm assuming that doesn't mean we can fly to the sun on a dragon. I think they just mean anywhere on the planet you want to go, you can go there. Now, I don't know if there will be vertical boundaries, since their game engine supports the ability to leave planetary atmospheres. I mean, that's a selling point of their engine, really. So I don't know if we'll be able to leave the planet and go to another one, go to another moon or something like that. They keep calling it Earth, which implies we only have one moon and maybe there wouldn't be other planets to visit, but you never know. You never know. The other thing about this statement, it says, on a scale never attempted before. Now, No Man's Sky's planets are significantly smaller, as far as I understand. Smaller than Earth, smaller than even the dwarf planets of our system. However, the planets of Elite Dangerous and the planets of Star Citizen are significantly larger than that. Star Citizen is still smaller than Earth. However, Elite Dangerous, I believe those are to scale with planets we'd find in our galaxy. So when they say at a scale never attempted before, do they mean larger than the planets in Elite Dangerous? Or do they mean no one's attempted this level of detail at this scale before? To which I would ask, bigger than Star Citizen then, because those are pretty detailed, playable worlds at a pretty impressive scale. So yeah, I just wonder about those things. I love that it says massively varied and dense planet filled with immersive biomes, unique enemies, and valuable resources to discover. Yeah, Sean said it's almost the idea of a planet with the variation of a universe. Now, of course, that universe probably being like a game universe, like No Man's Sky, not like our universe necessarily. But yeah, that should be fun to see. Lots of different biomes, unique enemies, and valuable resources. Hopefully we get some good loot. Alright, a fantasy Earth. Light No Fire presents you with an ancient Earth to uncover. That's interesting, an ancient Earth. One where you're not the hero. Thick with lore, mystery, and a constant fight for survival. Inspired by the adventure, charm, and imagination that we love from classic fantasy. Now, I love that sentence because classic sci-fi was sort of the theme of No Man's Sky. and I think they nailed it. So the idea of them doing classic fantasy now, I mean, the trailer completely nailed that aesthetic. I'm not the biggest fantasy guy. I don't pretend to be. My favorite fantasy games are like God of War and AC Odyssey, funny enough, because that's pretty much a fantasy game with all the magic in there. But yeah, but this looks like it's really up my alley. They've really nailed the aesthetic, so I'm excited for that. It says thick with lore. That makes sense. No Man's Sky's universe is full of lore, absolutely full of lore and mystery. And I also like the idea that you're not the hero. So in No Man's Sky, you have a place in the universe. Here it seems like you might not. You're just like a person surviving. And I think that's a really cool theme when you have like a planet full of players. The idea that none of us are the main character is fair. I mean, it sounds like a survival game, right? And then the last paragraph here is an unexplored Earth. Every mountain can be climbed, and below them lie endless vistas, oceans, and continents perhaps no others have seen. Who will climb the tallest mountains? Who will find the deepest sea? Set sail across vast oceans and rivers? Ride wild beasts through fantastical landscapes. Fly dragons over undiscovered landscapes. Okay, they used landscapes twice in that sentence. But yeah, I mean, this is to be expected. It's kind of the promise of No Man's Sky. Go where no one's ever gone before. But I love the idea that they specifically mention rivers, since we don't really have proper rivers in No Man's Sky. And in the trailer, it seems like we will be getting proper rivers. So that's really exciting. I'm also looking forward to sailing ships across the sea. That should be fun. So yeah, that's some additional information on Light No Fire. The game is looking incredible. I'm still severely hyped. But that brings me to a question, I see a lot of people bringing up. A lot of folks talking about, should we trust Hello Games? Have people already forgotten what Sean Murray did? The answer to that second question is no one's forgotten. Because you look at news sites and stuff, and they cannot talk about No Man's Sky without mentioning the launch. And so many YouTubers, whenever they mention No Man's Sky, they have to talk about the launch. It's really tiring, and it's safe to say no one's forgotten how No Man's Sky launched. I mean, when Cyberpunk released Phantom Liberty in their 2.0 patch, people called it like pulling a No Man's Sky. You know what I mean? Like, trust me, people have not forgotten how that launch went. Now, I don't necessarily agree with people's perceptions of how that launch went. I have different opinions on that, but that's neither here nor there. The point I'm trying to make is that no one's forgotten the launch, and Hello Games and Sean Murray certainly haven't forgotten how it went at launch. And so because of that, I feel like they're going to be a little more careful than they were in 2016. They don't have, this big marketing push from Sony that they have to stick to. They have a lot of resources before they had to release a game because they were broke. They were a small indie studio with no publisher, essentially. So they had to release a game or else they wouldn't be able to pay the bills. Now they have all the money they need from No Man's Sky, so they can release this when it's ready. Additionally, obviously technology's advanced a lot since 2016. And their team has expanded since 2016. They've also gained a lot of experience making precisely this kind of game, a procedural planet. In 2016, it didn't have multiplayer, right? But since 2017, they've been working on a multiplayer game. I mean, No Man's Sky has had multiplayer since 2017. So that's 6 years of quote-unquote live service experience. They've been releasing updates every year. So I feel like they now have all the chops needed to pull it off. But on top of that, here's my question to y'all that are like, I'll never trust Sean Murray, or I don't believe them. Here's the thing. For the last 7 years, Hello Games have been releasing free updates, and they've just been not trying to make it up to people, but they've been doing the right thing, right? They've been supporting their game. They've been listening to the community. They've been really great. And my question for y'all is that if you still haven't forgiven them, is there like an amount of time someone has to make something up to you before you forgive them? Because for me, if someone spends, 5 years just doing nice things, and I still don't think they're nice, I mean, I don't know, let alone 7 years. I mean, for those of y'all, like, if you are willing to forgive and they just haven't done enough in your eyes, please list some specific criteria in the comments below. I want to know when precisely they will earn your trust back. And if not, that's fine. You can just say never. That's cool too. Doesn't affect me. The other thing I wanted to mention was that prior to No Man's Sky's release, I don't think they used the word multiplayer in their direct marketing, and we never saw a single screenshot, single piece of concept art, or a single video clip, even in work in progress, of multiplayer at all prior to launch. 3 years of marketing, and we never saw a single screenshot of multiplayer. And yet people expected multiplayer. In this trailer alone, they use the word multiplayer twice, and we literally see lots of people playing multiplayer in the gameplay trailer. It's all gameplay. So, I mean, when people say, I've seen some people say, I don't think they'll actually have multiplayer day one because of No Man's Sky. Listen, they're going to have multiplayer day one. It's already in the trailer. It's already on their website. And it's already in No Man's Sky. You can drop into a planet right now in No Man's Sky. Start an expedition. You'll be on a planet full of random people, just like what they showed in this trailer. So I think they can pull it off, but whether or not you trust them, that's up to you. And again, here's the thing, whether you trust them or not, you don't have to pre-order, wait for reviews to come out, see what people say. Yeah, but I'm willing to give them the benefit of the doubt. I feel like they've earned it. On top of that, I also wanted to ask y'all how excited or interested y'all are in Light No Fire content and content coverage. This is primarily a No Man's Sky channel, but y'all know I also dabble in Assassin's Creed and BioShock. I would love to cover Light No Fire. Obviously, I mean, it's very similar to No Man's Sky, but with a fantasy coat of paint. So let me know if y'all would be interested in seeing that kind of content from me. Granted, I'll probably make it regardless, but it would be nice to see where y'all are on it. Speaking of No Man's Sky, though, I also wanted to touch on the 5-second trailer we got for 2024's content. New space stations, which those are really exciting. A new ship type, and well, that's pretty much it. But let's talk about the space stations. So again, I apologize for the video breakdown last week or 2 weeks ago that the audio was out of sync. No Man's Sky Resources pointed out in the comments that I missed a kiosk at the bottom. Whoopsie. Sorry about that. Yeah, there was another counter down there. And I think I also didn't speak about the icons above each little vendor, so we can see, what kind of stuff they might be selling. So those are just a couple notes on that. The space stations look great. It's really great to see the interiors. I hope they're as procedural as possible. And the exteriors, we already know, are going to be fantastic due to the leak we had earlier this year, where they accidentally put the models into the game. You can check out this video I did on it back in March, I believe, where I go through a bunch of screenshots showing a lot of the variation, if you want to spoil it for yourself. If not, look forward to it next year. It's going to be awesome. And then besides that, we also had the new ship type, which, I mean, it looks pretty great. Some people have supposed this could be like a custom ship type. Since we could build multi-tools this year, next year we'll be able to build or customize ships. I don't know. I mean, that would be really cool. But, I mean, this could just be a new ship type. Hard to say. Either way, I love the aesthetics of it. Looks like a new kind of fighter, which fighters are my favorite ships in the game. So having a new type would be really cool. Before I move on from Light No Fire and No Man's Sky, though, I wanted to mention that some folks have been sort of half jokingly speculating that what if, Light No Fire releases on Christmas this year. Hello Games have been releasing ads on Twitter, and normally they don't release ads unless they're planning to release a game or an update really soon. So people are kind of thinking, oh, here it comes. But the thing about that is there's a few holes I might poke in that theory. One is that if you're launching a big multiplayer game, you're going to want all your staff on hand to handle bugs and server issues and things like that. And chances are Hello Games want to take the holiday off. They tend to, which is a good thing. They should. So I don't think they'd all want to work on Christmas to release a new game. That'd be a lot of stress over the holidays, and I don't think it'd be worth it. Number two, games journalists are also going to be on holiday break. So no one's going to be covering the game. So yeah. Number three is that people are like, oh, it'd be such a fun Christmas gift for them to release it. Yeah, but it'd be a Christmas gift that we have to pay $60 for unless it's free to play. So yeah, asking us for $60 on Christmas isn't everyone's idea of a gift. So yeah, on top of all that, you know, they'd probably want to do more marketing pushes, release more than just one trailer. Like, they'd probably want to show us what the actual gameplay is, things like that. So yeah, I don't think we'll get it this month. Hopefully not. I hope they spend more time on it. And that said, hopefully we don't have to wait too long. I'm hoping we see it maybe next fall, if not the latest 2025. So that's sort of where I would expect to see it, fall 2024 to fall 2025. But you never know. Maybe it'll come out in the summer. Maybe it'll come out later. We just don't know, right? Keep your expectations in check, because they announced the last Campfire in 2018, and we didn't see that till 2020. Yeah, it took about 2 years after they announced that. And that was a much smaller game. So yeah, we'll see. It was about 3 years from the announcement of No Man's Sky till we got it. So yeah, I wouldn't hold my breath. Alright, so moving on from that, there's also a bit of No Man's Sky news to talk about. That is the Expedition Remixes, which launched the day after the Game Awards, or the patch did. And those remixes, what's interesting is normally we get Expedition Reduxes at the end of the year, where they replay the 4 expeditions from the year, except they're shortened versions. That's why they're called like Redux. And that way they usually run about 2 weeks a piece, and so they've sort of reduced the grind. So you can earn those rewards in case you miss them, but with less of a grind. Now those have already started. This time they're only running for a week each, which is really interesting. Makes me wonder if we're going to get something in January, because if not, you would think they'd give us 2 weeks each. But I suppose we'll see. The Utopia Expedition, it's already finished. Right now, the Singularity Expedition is running until the 22nd of December. Now, I'm going to rerun this expedition because I only ran it once in the summer. I was really busy. But it has 2 possible endings with 2 different rewards. So I'm going to run it the opposite way I did the first time and try and get that second armor set. So in case you forgot about that, because I completely forgot, here's your reminder. And then the 22nd to the 29th of December, it's really exciting. We have the Cartographers Expedition, Expedition 3 from 2021. It's making a return, and it's a remix. So for those who weren't here back in 2021, the Cartographers Expedition is one of my favorites. Basically, it flips the script on No Man's Sky. Instead of exploring a vast number of planets, you're stranded on a single planet. Your ship is broken, and you can't buy other ships or whatever, like all that's restricted. So you have to repair your ship. And in order to gather resources and survive, you have to build bases and pretty much become really familiar with the planet you're on. It's one of my favorite expeditions just because it focuses so much more on the survival and the land exploration. But on top of that, they're also remixing the rewards you get from that expedition. So they've sort of made it like a greatest hits of expedition rewards from the last 2 years. So you get the jetpack bubble trail, very nice. The feasting cask, which is like a customization for your Viking that makes it look like your head is a Titan worm, which is pretty gross. An exotic wing pack, which is pretty nice. The streamlined jetpack, which is another nice jetpack. These are 2 of the best jetpacks in the game, in my opinion. And then, of course, the Golden Vector, my favorite starship, the one you see in all my videos. That was originally only available from Expedition 1 Pioneers, but they're bringing it back as a reward for this remix of Expedition 3 Cartographers, which Cartographers is more fun than Pioneers, so that's pretty great. So if y'all have been looking for an opportunity to get the Golden Vector, this is it. I mean, they might never make it available again. It might be available again in 2 years, like they did. It's been 2 years since the last time it was available, so hey, you have 1 week between the 22nd and the 29th to beat that expedition. And like I said, these remixes usually have less grindy milestones, so it should be pretty easy. It should be pretty fun. And then from the 29th of December to the 8th of January, we have the Voyagers expedition, which, not my favorite. But yeah, I mean, that's all looking pretty great. What else do I have on the docket here? Again, I don't have a script, but I do have a list of bullet points I want to talk about. 2023 in review. So, would y'all be interested in a video talking about No Man's Sky's 2023? Or maybe like a tier list? I usually make tier lists where I rank and review every update in No Man's Sky, but I need to catch up for that. So let me know if you'd be interested in that kind of thing, although the year's kind of wrapped up at this point. Besides that, I was thinking of doing a naughty nice list, but again, December's kind of on its way out already, even though I'm finally starting to take a break. And I'm not even taking a break, I'm working on this video. So I probably won't get to that. Oh yeah, I also wanted to talk about my 2023 PlayStation wrap-up. So this is pretty much just like a compilation of stats about your year. It says in 2023 I played 27 games. Now, if y'all had to guess what my most played game of the year, what would you think it is? If you guessed No Man's Sky, you are correct. I played 154 hours of No Man's Sky this year, which that's quite a bit. Surprisingly, number 2 is Fall Guys, which I haven't played in months since they delisted one of my custom levels. I'm still bitter about that. I talked to support and everything, and they were completely useless. They couldn't even tell me why it was removed. They're just like, it must have violated our terms of service. I'm like, oh, okay, what part of it violated it? They're like, we don't know. I'm like, you don't know? I'm like, well, then how can I get it fixed? They're like, you should just be able to republish it and it'll be fine. I'm like, okie doke. And yeah, that didn't work. Number 3, 4, and 5 are various Assassin's Creeds. I play a lot of Assassin's Creeds, and I'm guessing 6, 7, and 8 would be Assassin's Creed games also. My gaming style is thrill seeker, whatever that means. So the thing I find most interesting about PlayStation Wrapped is that you can go month by month and see your hours. So for example, in January, I played 74 hours of games somehow, and 84 in February, 32 in March, 27 in April, only 18 in May. I say only because, compared to the other months. In June, I played 31, but then in July, I only played 1 hour of video games the entire month. I was really busy working on my book that month. I was really focused on research. But I bring this up because for those of you who wonder how much a content creator plays a month, it's really not that much. When I say that there are some weeks when I don't play any No Man's Sky, apparently I mean there are some months when I don't play any No Man's Sky, because I didn't play anything in July. August, I got back up to 30 hours. September, 25. October, 70 hours, because I put 38 of those into Assassin's Creed Mirage, which I don't regret. That was fun. November, 45 hours. December, I've only clocked in 3 hours this month so far. Yeah, probably up to 5 now. I played a couple hours of Odyssey last night. But yeah, I just find that interesting because I feel like those are rookie numbers. And I want to make more content, but it's funny because if I spend time making videos, I don't actually have the time to play video games. So yeah, it's an odd trade-off being a content creator, quote-unquote content creator, because you would think, oh, your job's to play video games, but really I don't play as many video games as I even used to. So hopefully next year I'll find a better work-life balance and we'll be able to figure that out. The more games I play, the more ideas I come up with for videos and things like that. And I'm also just happier the more games I play. So yeah, I just wanted to bring that up because I thought that was an interesting statistic. Interesting, very interesting. Feel free to share your 2023 wrap-up statistics in the comments below, or your Spotify Wrapped if you're into Spotify. I think mine was my number one artist was Peso Pluma, and my number one genre was filmy, which for those who don't know, that's like Indian film music. So that was an interesting combination. But yeah. All right. So besides that, what else do I have on the docket? I think that's pretty much it. Recently, I saw there's a new ARG going on, I think run by Allison Smith, who are the same company that did the Waking Titan ARG, which for those who are unaware, ARG is an alternate reality game. And Waking Titan was sort of like the build up to a couple of No Man's Sky's biggest updates, Atlas Rises and Next, which was really exciting. It's how I got my Atlas pass. That said, you know, they work with lots of different companies, and the Black Watchmen isn't necessarily related to No Man's Sky. I don't know. I see people going back and forth. People love to get hyped, you know what I mean? They say that they're following a bunch of No Man's Sky people on Twitter, the Black Watchmen account, but they haven't followed me. And I guess I'm like, granted, I'm not that big a deal, especially on Twitter. I'm even smaller than I am on YouTube. But I don't know. Do with that information what you will. I think it's following back accounts that interact with it, which I should probably interact with it, but I don't know. I'm not convinced it's related to Light No Fire or No Man's Sky yet, but I will be keeping an eye on it. It'd be really exciting if it was. I just haven't had time to look into it like I would like to. But with that, I think that really is everything. So thanks again for watching. Hopefully this episode isn't as long as the one I recorded originally. I recorded like an hour-long version of this last week, but couldn't get to editing it. This one is hopefully a bit shorter. Hopefully I didn't leave out too many details. But let me know how I did in the comments below. How do you feel about this format where I just sort of ramble? I don't have a script. I think I go on too many tangents, but maybe it's more engaging for y'all for me to just speak from the heart, so to speak. And also let me know what you think of Light No Fire and the 2024 space stations and new ship types we're gonna get. You excited for No Man's Sky? I'm excited for No Man's Sky in 2024. Just the space stations alone I think are gonna make a huge difference. And hopefully we see a lot more stuff about Light No Fire, because that game has me truly excited. Besides that, don't forget to leave a like or dislike on the video. I really appreciate it. Every YouTuber does, but I really do. I appreciate all the comments y'all leave. And also a reminder that Wednesday, the December 20th, I'll be doing my first members only live stream. I'll be playing No Man's Sky, I believe. I might be visiting bases of y'all's or just running Nexus missions, doing things like that. So if you're interested, I'll be chatting it up. I'll be answering questions or whatever y'all want to talk about, maybe Light No Fire or something like that. Joining is pretty affordable. I tried to make it pretty cheap, and I appreciate all the support because, yeah, I'm still a small channel, and I'd like to be able to do this full-time or more full-time, since right now I still have to do other jobs to make ends meet, which means, which is why I don't play as many games as I want to. But that's a personal thing. You know, I'm doing all right. My life is pretty good. So, but if you have the disposable income and you're interested in supporting the channel, that would be a great way to do it. Or if you're just interested in supporting the channel for free, subscribing is also a really great way to help. So I appreciate everything. Thank you so much for watching. I don't know when my next video will be out. I have an hour-long Assassin's Creed video I've been trying to get back to for the last couple weeks. Who knows when that'll come out. But in case I don't have another video out by January, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year. Stay safe out there. Spend time with friends and family. And I'll see you when I see you in the next video. Alright, adios!